Let's talk about the all-important fill and stroke. Fill and stroke, and we're going to talk about, of course, fill stroke. We're going to talk about increasing the width or decreasing the width of your stroke, creating multiple strokes, and how to apply color to either fill or stroke. So let's get started. Let's just go right into Adobe Illustrator. And notice I've got all my panels all set up, the layers panel, the character panel, stroke panel, the properties panel. And I'm just going to make a circle for this demonstration. And I just drag and make the circle. My black arrow tool here, I can drag the object. I'm going to duplicate the object by Option drag or Alt drag on the PC. And here we go. Here's my toolbar. I can drag it right over here, and I'm going to open my swatch box by going Window Swatches. And here is my swatch box. Now, selection is very important. With the black arrow tool selected, I can click an object. I can see my color swatches. And with this object selected, there are two little boxes down here at the bottom of the toolbar. This solid one represents fill. So with this object selected, if I choose different colors in the swatch box, that will change the fill color. To change the stroke color, I bring the stroke to the front and give it a color. And I can swap fill and stroke. Like right now, one's green, one is black. If I click this thing, they swap as such. If I want to change the width of the stroke, here's my stroke panel. If you can't see your stroke panel, you would go Window, Stroke. And with the object selected, I can decrease the stroke, or I can input a value, or I can click this little up and down arrows for this object over here. And notice as I go from object to object, this information in the toolbar changes. Right now it's yellow and red. If I click here, it's green and black. If I click here, it's yellow and red again. But let's change this and make this brown and maybe a light brown for stroke. Okay. Well, what if I want an object? Now, right now we have these circles here, but and we'll talk about shapes more in depth in another video, but what if I have a rectangle? I can make a rectangle and go to the black arrow tool, and I'm going to give that a blue back. Oh, a blue stroke to swap that. Bring the fill to the front, and and pretty much I'm just messing around, but there you go. What if I want a rectangle with no stroke? I would bring stroke to the front here and click the none sign. Now I have a rectangle with no stroke. Well, what if I want an object with no fill? If I select the object, bring my fill to the front, and click the none sign, now this object has no fill. There you go. Well, I've got my swatch box over here, but is this all the colors that I have to use? Just these colors in the swatch box? No. Right now, let's go to this object. With this selected, the object selected, if I double click here, then I go into what I call the Supreme Color Picker. And if I drag up and down in here, I go into color ranges. And then if I drag this thing around, you can see this is my old color, this is my new color. And when I get the color I want, I click OK. And in the swatches, I can see the color is in the swatch box, but it's not actually a color swatch, though it's over here in fill color. But if I click over here for a new swatch, then I can give it a name. Right now, it's giving me its RGB values, and that's the swatch name, but I can call it my aqua, even though it may not be aqua, okay? And I click OK, and now here it is in the swatch box, and it's showing up in my color library, which opens up automatically, and it's called My Aqua. So that's how you add a swatch to the swatch box, and when I hover over it in the swatch box, it actually gives me a tooltip with the name of that swatch. But now let's add multiple stroke, and to add multiple stroke you need a very special panel, and that would be the appearance panel. So I'm going to go Window Appearance, and now the appearance panel is giving me information about the selected object. I'm going to add another stroke. You can see here's my fill color. I'm going to select fill, and then I go to this little drop down menu here, add new stroke. Okay, so here's my second stroke. It's still black. I am going to make my second stroke pink. But to be able to see it, right now it's hidden by the stroke above it because they're both 4 points. So if I click here and I make it wider, now it's thicker. Let's add another stroke. So I come down here, I select fill. I come up here, add new stroke. I can come down here and select another color. Oh, just something obvious. Let's make it a dark green. The one above it is 19 points. This one is 19 points. There you go. If I just make it thicker, now I have 1, 2, 3 strokes. So we've added multiple strokes of different colors to this object, and we could do that to rectangles, squares, whatever you want to do, whatever shapes, or you can draw objects and add fill and stroke to any objects. I'm going to drag this out of the way. We're going to do text. Put over these over here in the junkyard so they're just out of the way. Rectangle in the junkyard. But we're going to do a text video all about text, but to add text, first I might choose a color. I'm going to choose my aqua. Get my text tool out. And it gives me some lorem ipsum in there, but I'm just going to call this my text. Click away from it, go to the bounding box, make it bigger. And once it's bigger, I can bring my fill to the front. The text is selected, and give that text a color. And this make it even bigger. We'll talk about text and fonts and all that kind of stuff later, but if I bring my text, my stroke to the front over here, I can apply stroke and increase my stroke width if I would like to. So there you go. Not only can you apply fill and stroke to drawn shapes, but you can also apply fill and stroke to your text.